Picture this. The year is 2045. Donald Trump is serving his 7th term as president. He found a way to upload his consciousness to an AI, so he's pretty much immortal at this point. His cryogenically frozen head is still talking shit nonstop. Russia has taken out all of our satellites. The polar ice caps have become polar ice yarmulkes. Movie theaters have gone fucking extinct. Netflix costs $75 a day, and the only content available to you is whatever new AI Chris Pratt movie is on ChinaStream.com. It's fucking Armageddon. Now, I don't know about you, but my main concern during this time will be, how am I going to watch my favorite movies and TV shows now that China has wiped out all of our passwords? Luckily, there is a brand spanking new technology known as DVDs. Digital Video Discs, or Blu-ray discs if you want to get fancy with it. In this day and age that is dominated by streaming services, the only way that you can have true ownership of something is by owning the actual physical copy. Now, you might be saying to yourself, okay, Grandpa, it's 2025, get with the fucking program. But 20 years from now, you're gonna come knocking on my door and you're gonna say, Joe, please let me borrow your Blu-ray copy of Shrek 2 so that I can watch it with my friends and we can remember what the old times were like. When I go out and I spend $10 on a Blu-ray for myself, I now own that movie in high definition for the rest of my life. And I don't have to worry about having an internet connection or whether or not Jeff Bezos has decided to take the movies that I bought off of his streaming platform. All I need is a television, a Blu-ray player, an HDMI cord, and electricity. And that's it. Now, I understand that your average consumer doesn't really care about subtle differences in picture quality between like streaming and Blu-ray, but me, being the sociopath that I am, it just satisfies my nerd brain knowing that I am watching a movie in the exact way that the filmmakers intended. Christopher Nolan, who is like a smaller indie film director, you probably haven't even fucking ever heard of him before. He actually touches on this in a video that I'll link in the description, but he basically says that when you're streaming a movie, it's kind of like broadcasting it. So it's a lot more difficult to manage the picture quality and make sure that all the little details are included. So he considers the Blu-ray and 4K releases of his films to be the definitive versions, because you're actually able to pick up on all the little details that he felt were necessary to include in order to give the audience the best experience possible. Now, does this mean that I'm against streaming services? No, absolutely not. I am a subscriber to the Criterion channel. My roommates share an HBO Max account. I did delete my Netflix account a little while ago because I didn't really use it that much, and $17 a month is actually fucking absurd. But the other night, for example, my roommate and I wanted to watch Park Chan-wook's Joint Security Area, a movie that I had never seen and didn't have access to. And so I went on Amazon and I rented that shit for $4. And then I watched it switch from like 480 to 720p the entire runtime. But what did I do after that? I took my ass to eBay and I bought that shit on Blu-ray. And now I have it forever. So let's get technical for a second, okay? Streaming services have this thing called adaptive bitrate. Bitrate is essentially the amount of data that a receiver is able to process over a second. Every pixel on your screen during a movie that you're watching is data that needs to be transmitted very, very quickly. And so an adaptive bitrate is a way for streaming services to keep a movie playing regardless of the quality of the picture. So that's why sometimes when you're watching a movie, the quality will go from good to bad to shit to okay, and then to this. So let's crunch some numbers really quick. The average bitrate for a movie that you stream in standard 1080p high definition is 3 to 6 megabits per second, and like 15 to 35 megabits for a 4K stream. Now let's compare this to a Blu-ray disc, which is also 1080p, but it gives you 40 megabits per second and 128 megabits on a 4K disc. Now I ain't no fucking mathematician, but if my calculations are correct, 40 is a lot more than 3 to 6, and 128 is a lot more than 15 to 35. So all of this to say, Streaming Verge Blu-ray Chad. And this isn't even taking into account all of the extra shit that comes included on a Blu-ray that you just don't get with a streaming service. Director commentaries, deleted scenes, interviews with the cast and crew, behind the scenes shit. Plus, isn't it just more fun to be able to have like a shelf full of movies that you can flip through instead of just sitting on the couch for an hour going like this? When you stream a movie, you just become another fucking statistic for the higher ups at Netflix to just feed you more and more mediocre content. But when you have a collection of films that is tailored to your personal taste, it makes you happier, healthier, hornier. It makes you a better person in general. And you probably have a better chance of getting into heaven as well. I'll be able to pass my Blu-ray collection down the generations, and my grandkids will be able to watch the same movies that I'm watching now in the exact same way. And it kind of sucks because it's a really hard time for physical media right now. Best Buy isn't selling movies anymore. Target just stopped selling them recently. The other day, I drove 15 minutes to my favorite used movie store that I've been going to for like 8 years. Closed. Forever. Thanks, Obama. So I'm praying for a physical media revolution within the next few years. And if this video convinced even one person to go out and buy a movie, then it was all worth it. So keep watching movies, guys. Keep buying movies. Keep making movies, because they can't take that away from you. Thank you if you've made it this far. I love you. Jesus loves you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay, goodbye.